Where? Oh, I got doxed. Yeah, it seems like it. I'm not anybody famous anyway. Is it working? Do I need this to be open? Maybe I can just close it. Okay, everybody. So welcome to today's open mic session. So we're going to talk about this thing called the Olympus Pro. So this is a little bit technical, so I'm going to try to say it as simple as possible, and then you guys can like write your questions, or you can shout out your questions right at the end. Okay. So here goes. Okay. So what are we talking about today? Okay. So um, there is actually a snapshot proposal right now about what do we do with these extra SOS tokens that we clawed back. So I want you guys to just consider carefully about this option about using Olympus Pro, okay, to buy back our liquidity tokens. Okay, so let's go back to the start. Okay, so right at the start, right? Okay, at the start of everything, right? Okay, humans love to trade stuff, right? So humans have always been buying and selling stuff, from seashells to tokens to like little rings or bracelets. So somebody always wants to sell stuff, and somebody always wants to buy stuff, right? So this is like a very innate human stuff, right? So somebody maybe might want to sell a snowflake or a ring for maybe like 10 seashells, but the buyer is only willing to pay like, for example, 9 seashells, right? So, or maybe sometimes they might not want to, buy it today. They might want to buy or sell on another day, right? It might not be the same day. Okay, so there's always such a thing called market. Okay, so a third party, okay, somebody will buy and will be in between these two trades, right? So maybe he'll take, a little bit of a difference. He'll take he'll buy this thing over at maybe sorry, he'll buy this over from this guy. Okay, maybe we'll buy at we'll buy at a discount, $9.80, and then he'll sell it to this guy, and a little bit of difference. So there's always a little bit of difference, and the market maker always makes a little bit of cuts, right? So of course it's not so thin. The cut can be more, it can be less. Okay, but this is how markets work, right? So there's always somebody who will bring stuff, and of course, like sometimes things are spread across different geographies. You bring a certain silk across the Silk Road. You can charge a higher and higher premium each time you bring things along. Okay, so let's say we fast forward to today. Okay, so today, okay, in our markets, right? Okay, for example, the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, this is one of the largest market right now. Okay, so if you actually study the New York Stock Exchange is actually a listed company. You can actually go inside and see how much money they actually make from everybody. Okay, so well, there is definitely some incentive for these guys to force us to buy and sell and to speculate on shares, right? The shares is just not meant. The system is not meant for us to buy and hold, because every time we speculate, they actually earn some money. So for example, you want to you have some Tesla shares. Okay, you want to sell them. For example, it's like 1,000. You want to sell them at 1,000. Okay, then there's always some buyer. Maybe he put at a price. Sorry, what am I writing? Yeah, there's always some buyer who might want to buy your Tesla shares. But maybe he will buy at 999 or something. Okay, so this is like what we call like a bid price. Okay, and ask price. Yeah. Yeah. So usually in between this, there's a little bit of a spread, what we call a spread. Yeah. So sometimes the market makers, we call them market makers, they will take the little bit of the spread, and then they'll earn a slight difference, yeah, between these two. On top of that, right, there's also a marketplace fee. Market maker. Okay. Then of course, there's also the marketplace fees, right? So for every transaction that you make on the New York Stock Exchange, Okay, there's a slight percentage fee that's taken out, maybe slight. Okay, and even then, right, this is a huge amount of money that goes on, into the stock, New York stock. Okay, so far you guys understand this, but who can participate in all this today, right? Okay, they must be big players. Okay, so some of them are very, very big banks. So some of them are experts in shorting markets. They short everything. They short crypto. They short, Asian currencies. And they short some of your favorite stocks, right? So yeah, these guys they do this stuff. So they have the power to to move prices, and basically they make a cut from all the trading, and they make a cut from hedging against us. So these markets are inherently flawed. So they know all our prices, and they use super fast speed computers to earn a tiny difference in all our trades. Yeah. So anyway, we don't want to talk about that. Yeah. So today, right, we fast forward to today, okay, in the crypto markets, okay, anybody can be this market. So for example, right, today, right, you want to buy Ether. Okay, this person who wants to buy Ether, okay, he wants to buy, for example, $1,000 worth of Ether. Okay. On another side of the trade, okay, somebody needs to cash out his Ether. Okay, he needs to sell his Ether for US dollars. Sell his Ether for US dollars, $1,000. Yeah, so maybe this guy, sometimes he might want to, like, he might not want to, these two guys might not match at the same time, right? He might want to buy today at like 10 p.m. Then maybe this guy wants to sell at 11 p.m. or something. So they might not match at the same time, right? So in between, right, okay, there's still the concept of market. Okay, but now, right, who makes the market, right? It can be anybody. Okay. Inside these crypto systems, we call these guys the liquidity providers. Okay. So for example, okay, maybe I'm a large whale. Okay, I'm going to put up maybe $100,000 worth of Ether. Okay, and then I'm going to put $100,000 worth of US dollars, on the table to allow this trading. Okay, so when this guy buys the Ether, okay, I will have $99,000 worth of Ether, and I'll have $110,000 worth of US dollars, something like that, right? And then in the normal market, okay, the number of people buying will usually equal to the number of people selling. Okay, so eventually these two pools of money will equal out, okay, most of the time. And okay, being a liquidity provider, because there's some risk involved, and also, like, there's opportunity cost involved in putting my money on the table to provide for this trade. Okay, I typically take a 0.25% per trade. Okay, this is for sushi swap. But of course, for certain very exotic tokens, the price can go up to even 1% of trading fee. And for certain very terrible contracts, they can take even 10% of a cut. Yeah, but the standard is 0.25%. Okay, so far you guys understand this part? Okay, I'm going to jump on to the next part, okay? Yeah, so the exact mechanics, right, of a liquidity provider, okay, let's just go deeper into this, okay? So for example, right, okay, I put up Ether, $10,000, okay? And then I put up, for example, today, right, will be SOS tokens, okay? $10,000 worth of SOS tokens. Okay, so this one and this one will go into the sushi swap contract, which is like a money robot, right? So this is the exchange. Okay, so yeah, so if you can look at it, right, okay, I'm looking at big numbers right here, but actually anybody can be a liquidity provider, okay? But on the Ethereum mainnet, obviously you have to have, quite a large amount of money to, to overcome the gas fees. But actually, if you can go on to smaller nets, for example, in the Polygon network or the Binance Smart Chain, or what else are there, Avalanche, or I think the other chains, or XDAI, I think you can actually you can be a liquidity provider, you can be a market, with even $1 or any amount of money, you can still make money, right? So that is the kind of innovation that these crypto systems have provided. So you don't need to be a giant whale, to make money from the market, right? Anybody can be a market. So that is really a huge innovation. Yeah. Okay. So for putting 10,000 and 10,000 worth of each token, okay, what you will get back, right? Okay, the SushiSwap contract will actually give you this thing called the if, okay, SOS. Okay, sorry, the correct terminology wrong. The correct terminology is actually SOS wrap ether. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the technicalities, okay, but you will get back this token, okay, and it's called the SOS wrap ether LP token. Okay, and how much is this worth? This is actually worth 20,000. Okay, so this actually represents SOS token and Ether token in 50-50%. So if you want to send this to other people or you want to move this to another wallet, okay, anytime, right, you still can send back this token to the SushiSwap to get back this amount, equal amounts of this. Okay, but what's so special about this is that this thing is actually revenue generating. Okay, so or in what we call in crypto terms, okay, they generate a yield. Okay, and sometimes people call this yield farming as well, right? Yield farming. So where does this money come from? Where does this yield come from, right? Remember just now I said this 0.25% trading fees. Yeah, so that's what it comes from. So as long as somebody is buying or selling SOS, somebody is trading on this pair, okay, your LP token will continue to increase in value. Okay, so maybe today it might be 20,000. Maybe over time it might be, this number might increase. Okay, but there's some risk. So if this is like such great money, right? Why isn't everybody putting all their money into this, making money from this thing? Okay, so there are some risks. There's this risk called the impermanent losses, which I will not touch on today. Impermanent losses. Yeah. So sometimes to mitigate these impermanent losses, okay, the company, or for example the SOS, the OpenDAO actually incentivizes people to put money inside this liquidity pool. So we give them LP rewards. So if you look at the LP rewards now, I think it's about 200 to 300%. Yeah, of course, this one will drop as more and more people put more money into these contracts. Yeah. So on top of this 0.25%, okay, that we earn from people trading this token, okay, there's LP rewards that come from like from about 10% of all the tokens, right? Okay. So you guys understand this part so far? I'm not hearing any response. Are you guys already lost?
We are listening to you very well, Ankit. Thank you so much. We're here concentrated.
Yeah. So so later on, okay, when we have more time, okay, we need to go deep into all this LP stuff, right? Because there's really a lot of money involved, and anybody can be the market. And seriously, there's so much opportunity in this. And actually, that's what is driving the NFT bull market right now. A lot of people who are buying NFTs are actually LP providers. They've done all this yield farming and all that, and we've all made our money. And right now we are buying NFTs. Yeah. So we are going to cover all this in depth in another lecture. Okay, but today we will cover another portion. Yeah, this is how you make money in the crypto world to fund your NFT purchases. All right. Okay, so just now we spoke about this thing called the SOS wrap ether token, right? LP token. Okay, so usually you can just keep this in your wallet, or you can stake them for these LP rewards. Okay, but what Olympus Pro does, okay, is that it will allow the protocol, which is OpenDAO, okay, to purchase these tokens off the market. Okay, so as you guys know, right? Okay, OpenDAO Treasury right now have about 20% or 20 trillion tokens, SOS tokens. Okay, and then I think the whales are right now voting on this snapshot, so you might put another 8 trillion tokens, SOS tokens, into our treasury. Okay, but this is all 100% in SOS tokens, and this thing is not yield. It does not generate a yield, right? So it's like it only goes up or down, depending on the price of the SOS token. Okay, but what we can do, right, is we can use this program called Olympus Pro to purchase this purchase these tokens from open market, and in return give the person SOS tokens. Okay, so how it works is like that. Okay, so for example, okay, um for example, okay, we want to buy back 10,000, okay, dollars worth of this SOS Wrap Ether token, LP token. Okay, somebody or anybody, me or you or someone, okay, can bring this and deposit into the OpenDAO treasury. Okay, and when that happens, okay, this amount of money is locked up for 1 week. Okay, then after 1 week, what happens is that, okay, this contract will release an amount of SOS tokens, okay, equivalent to 10,000, okay, plus some discount. Okay, so this is a bit abstract. Okay, so I say again, so the DAO, okay, will actually purchase these LP tokens, you know, and for giving an incentive, okay, you give them a certain discount, right? So but what determines this discount, right? Okay, it's 100% up to the smart contract. Okay, so if nobody does this, okay, the number can go higher and higher and higher, you know, until it reaches a incredible amount of like number, right? Then you incentivize somebody to do this, to lock up their tokens for a week. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example. Okay, so this one I think is better to show an example. So if you go into the Olympus Pro, right? Okay, it looks something like that. Oh, oops, it's not connecting. Yeah, so I'm going to show you. Okay, let's just connect my wallet. Okay, I think my computer is probably going to lag. Okay, let's just not connect my wallet, but I'm going to show you this transaction that I've done. Okay, so I've been doing this for the Bankless DAO. So I'm using that exact same thing. Okay, so I sent in about $7,500 worth of these sushi LP tokens, which is actually Ether and bank tokens. Okay, and if I can lock it up for a week, okay, I'm going to get about $8,500 worth of Bankless DAO tokens, right? So I repeat again, so I will send in this amount to our DAO treasury, and I'll get back this amount of bank tokens after a week. Okay, if you see this tiny bit, right? Okay, this is 3.3% of for this Olympus DAO. Okay, when they do this service, they take 3.3% of every transaction fee, and they will send this to their vault. Okay, so what this does, right? Okay, this is usually vested. They are not going to sell it. Okay, they are going to keep it, and they'll they'll use it to do other funky stuff, you know, as some kind of collateral. Yeah, so that one will not cover today, but you can think of this as some kind of vesting, you know, so that they are as interested as into us as well. So another reason why I really want to work with these, right? Okay, is once our token is inside, right? Okay, you can actually see okay, maybe I should try to connect. You can actually see, right? Okay, our protocol, right, will be right next to up all these different protocols, you know, and then it just adds that kind of credibility to our token, you know, as well as it opens us up into this huge ecosystem. Yeah. Where the Olympus DAO has you know, they are interested in our success as well. Also it opens us up to a lot more partnerships with other DeFi protocols. Yeah. So there's also a lot of visibility that you can see. Sorry, my computer is lagging so badly. Yeah, but you guys can actually go in and see. So you'll see all the different bonds for all the different protocols. Yeah. So okay, what determines this discount, right? Okay, just now that the amount that you saw, I think it was about 8% discount. Yeah. So at 8%, okay, to me, right? Okay, this is risk-free for me. Yeah. So I'm happy to just hold these bank tokens. And of course, because I love my protocol, you know, I love my DAO, you know, I'm not going to irresponsibly dump the token. So what do I do with all these tokens, right? Okay, usually I'll spend it in the economy. Yeah, so I use it within the Bankless DAO economy. Okay, so the same thing will go for something like the OpenDAO as well, right? Yeah. This is a little bit complicated. So you guys have any questions before I move on?
I think we're all good.
We're all good. Yeah. So why are we bringing all these Wrap Ether, SOS Wrap Ether LP tokens into the DAO? Okay. So there are a couple of pros. Okay. So I'm going to cover it. So pros, right? Okay, is this logic called the protocol own liquidity? Protocol owns liquidity. Okay, what does this mean, right? Okay, if you go, I'm not going to open my browser because it probably will lag. Okay, if you go to this thing called the Sushi Swap, you can go into the statistics, the data, the analytics panel of the sushi swap, you can actually see the total liquidity of our token, which is how much, what is the total amount of this SOS rep ether there is in the market. Okay, so usually, okay, these tokens are held by people, right? People like, okay, me and other great supporters of the SOS protocol. But no matter what, right, there's still a risk. Okay, maybe someday in the future, the trading of this token drops. Okay, and the percentage APY or the amount of money you can earn from, holding this LP token drops. Okay, sometimes some of these whales or some of us might want to withdraw our money from this contract to chase other higher yields, right? So when that happens, sometimes um our liquidity in the market might drop. Okay, when the liquidity drops, okay, generally it might mean a couple of things. Okay, the token price might become more volatile. Also sometimes the token price might shrink, because people might think that it could be a rug or something, right? So by having the protocol, the OpenDAO treasury owning our own liquidity tokens, okay, we're probably never going to sell it, right? So as long as you own our own liquidity, right, we're never going to rug ourselves. Okay, and the liquidity can grow over time. Yeah, over time the liquidity can grow, and of course this also generates a revenue. Yeah, so if there are a lot of programs that we are trying to spend on, a lot of things that we want to pursue, but if we spend all our money like today, right, or this year, right, okay, then what's going to happen the next year or the next year, right? So you see, if we can spend, like, for example, this 8 trillion today, and generate maybe 8 trillion every year, okay, then that will be something interesting, right? So essentially, we are able to fund most of our projects, our staking rewards, and we might even be able to fund our LP rewards forever, right? So you guys have recently voted for 2 years for LP rewards and 1 year for staking rewards, right? So the question is, what's going to happen after that, right? What's going to happen after that? I don't have an answer for that. Yeah, but if we are able to generate some kind of on-chain revenue, okay, from something that looks like this, we might be able to continue funding some of these rewards, even after that. Yeah. So and then of course number 3, yeah, so we are better able to yeah, so the liquidity will increase over time. Yeah, so this one is actually a better alignment, between all the market players. Yeah. So for people who bond, okay, also it's kind of like up to our, usually there are people who do this service, we kind of know the DAO, we are very interested to purchase the SOS tokens at a discount, and we are very happy to hold it. Yeah. So it's a very different kind of mindset, between the LP provider and a bonder. Yeah. By the way, this technology is called bonding. Yep. Yeah. So I suddenly can remember. There are some other pro. Then of course, right? Okay, it builds us into some kind of partnership with OlympusPro, and that is definitely with the Olympus DAO, and it creates a lot more alignment. So once we get this foot in, right, there's a lot more products and a lot more interesting stuff that we can do after that, which will probably blow your mind. But we need to first get some partnership in first. So. But of course, not everything is all pros. Okay, so number one, then the next thing is cons. Okay, so it's more costly. Yeah, it's actually cheaper to rent liquidity, which means to provide LP rewards. It's much cheaper to provide LP rewards rather than actually purchasing these LP tokens. Yeah, but by paying upfront money, okay, we actually generate a revenue forever. So number 2, also sometimes it might have some price stabilizing effect. So so some people might not like that. Some people might want the token to moon. Okay, but having some price stability allows us to become more of an ecosystem token. It makes us more able to pursue some of our long-term plans. Yeah, like right now, if everybody is thinking that this token is going to go 100x or something, right, nobody's going to willing to spend it in our ecosystem. Yeah. But even with this OlympusPro, the token price still can go up, especially since we execute some of these interesting projects. Yeah. So number 3 is, of course, it is difficult to understand. Yeah. So when this thing first went on snapshot at Bankers DAO, okay, I was one of those guys that was against it. So I actually voted against it. So you can actually look at it. Everything is on chain. But now I'm like a fervent supporter. I can see how this thing can help the DAO and it can help OpenDAO. Yeah, which is why I'm hoping that you guys can vote favorably. But it's okay, if you guys like vote to return it to the treasury, I think that's fine. It's just that it just means that we will have to propose this again later. And yeah, I've pretty much come to the end, and I'm open to questions.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I have a question, like, how exactly do like the Olympus DAO like earn money and pay us?
Oh, they actually don't pay us anything. Actually, we are paying them. We are paying them 3.3%. So let me just show you again, okay? So if you do the bonding, okay, you can actually see this is an on-chain transaction. Okay, so I paid this amount goes into the DAO treasury, and this little bit, right, goes to the Olympus DAO. Can you see Olympus DAO treasury? So if you look into the Olympus DAO treasury, okay, it has a many very interesting. Oh wait, no, this is not the. Okay, this is Olympus DAO treasury. So it has many different tokens from all the different protocols, all the 3.3% that they take in. Okay, and then they are basically trying to create a new form of money. Okay, they are keeping all our tokens as some kind of vault, to prove that they have the reserve funds. Yeah, so I think a simplest way to say is like they are kind of like a hedge fund, kind of, okay, but it's not actually. Yeah, so you can see what is inside their vault. Okay, wrong. Yeah, then of course there are many more funky ways that Olympus DAO make money, which I will not cover today. That is too much. But I think we are just using one of the technology inside called the OlympusPro, just one of the things. Yeah, so you can see that they have $120 billion worth of some tokens, yeah, which they use to as a backing for their Olympus token, the OM token. Yeah, so they are not going to sell it. It's just there for show.
I think it's a lot of a lot of things to digest. But is there like a Medium article or something to like for us to understand it like little bit deeper?
Oh yes. I actually shared it with someone somewhere. Yeah, by the way, we actually have a forum. I don't really like Discord because sometimes the things can go missing. For example, the missing proposal that I didn't put up to snapshot. So it's very difficult for us to follow. So for long form discussions and really like serious kind of proposals, I would prefer people to put it on the forums. But of course, like please follow the format and make sure that the proposal is well thought out, or at least there's some commitment by the person writing it to want to execute it. Oh no, this one. So if you go into it, I actually shared some of these links. Yep, so there is a newsletter and there's a video. So I'm going to share you guys the link. Okay, so also there is another proposal which I find very interesting actually, but I think the voting is quite low as well. So I think they wanted to use some of our tokens to invest in other tokens or DeFi tokens. I think that's also very interesting proposal. So I hope they will, even if it doesn't pass snapshot, I hope those the authors can bring this to our treasury, and hopefully maybe we can piece together all these different proposals and present them for snapshot again. Okay, I'm unable to. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys ask questions. If there are no more questions, maybe we can end early. And I hope you guys can help me submit a form. So this is like a feedback form, as well as later on we will mint you guys a poem. I hope. Anybody got any more questions? I think you guys can unmute yourself. I think we can hear as well. Wow, actually we have quite good attendance. Okay, all good? All okay? Okay, so if everything is okay, I'm going to stop sharing and all that, and then we will stop the live thing. Then I think we can just hang out and just chit chat. You guys can just ask me anything. I'm going to
Thank you so much, Angit.
yeah, and enjoy the rest of your week, guys.
Thank you.
There'll be a similar session tomorrow, I think. Yep. So it'll be similar to this one. Okay, see you guys.